So I had this friend in school, let's call him George. He was a good guy, polite, intelligent, but there was one thing about him that drove me crazy. He didn't listen. He loved to talk, but the moment I started speaking, he just interrupted me. He wouldn't even listen to the half of what I had to say before he started blubbering again. He just didn't care. George was overweight, at least 30-35 kg of extra fat. He didn't train, he didn't really take care of himself, and I was the exact opposite. I was in a perfect shape, but it wasn't always like that. At 12 years old, I weighed 92 kilograms. For a kid, that's a lot. I remember in gym class, I couldn't run. When we played football, they always put me to be the goalkeeper. Not because I was good, because I took up more space. It was just harder for them to score. The girl I liked, she laughed at me. She wouldn't even talk to me because she didn't want her friends to think she was crazy. I couldn't play the sports I loved. All I could do was play Fortnite with a bag of chips in front of me while everyone else was outside kicking a ball. It took me 2 years to get in shape. 2 years! One day I just had enough. I started learning, reading books on how to lose weight, how calories work, and I started training. I chose calisthenics because I always admired this sport. By the time I met George, I knew what I was doing. I had abs, I had lost 40 kg. In school, George didn't get offended when people called him fat or talked about his acne from a lot of sugar that he ate. He didn't seem to care, but I wanted to help him. I saw myself in him. One day we talked about how I lost the weight. I was so happy because I thought I could finally help him, but he didn't give a damn. I started telling him how he could do it, how to count calories, and I could see his eyes just closing. He was bored, he didn't care, and then he interrupted me to talk about some TikTok clip he saw. I was about to explode with anger, but I kept my cool and just stayed silent. I was giving him 2 years of knowledge for free, information I spent 2 years gathering and he didn't want it. But at the same time, he liked calisthenics. He watched people on social media doing handstands and he admired them. He knew I trained. One day, during the big break at school, we went to the pool of bars because it was a sunny day. He asked me, how do you do a handstand? Since he was the one asking, I explained the most important parts. And almost on his first try, he held it. He couldn't believe it. He was exploding with happiness. He wanted to learn. I wasn't trying to force something into his head that he didn't care about. 2 years passed. George came to me and said he hired a nutritionist because he was tired of looking at a hanging belly in the mirror. I was happy for him, but inside I felt a bit guilty. It could have happened so much sooner. But he didn't want to absorb the information I was giving him for free. Now he pays €200 every month. What I learned is this: people often don't value what's free. Paying money is a type of responsibility. Sometimes you have to let the people close to you just pay the price, whether it's money or pain, because they actually start to value the change.